Right now, your heart is beating without you thinking about it. It will do that roughly 3 billion times before it stops. You assume the stopping is the end. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain does not go quietly. It does not fade like a phone battery running low. In the moments after your heart stops, something happens inside your skull that scientists only recently managed to measure. A surge, a storm, a final furious burst of activity more intense than anything you experience while awake. Let that sit for a second. The dying brain may be louder than the living one. For most of human history, death was simple. The heart stops. The breathing stops. You are gone. Ancient hunter-gatherers watched companions collapse from wounds or fever, and they built entire belief systems to explain what happened next. Spirits leaving the body, journeys to other realms, the souls separating like smoke from a flame. These weren't just stories. They were the earliest attempts at answering a question your brain is wired to ask. What is it like on the other side of the last breath? Modern science can now get closer to that question than any shaman or priest ever could, and the findings are not what you'd expect. In 2013, a neuroscientist named Jimo Borjigan at the University of Michigan ran an experiment on dying rats. She and her team recorded the animals' brain activity as their hearts stopped. What she found stunned her. In the 30 seconds after cardiac arrest, the rats' brains produced a massive spike in gamma wave activity. Gamma waves are associated with heightened consciousness, with focus, with the kind of sharp awareness you feel in a moment of real clarity. The dying brain wasn't shutting down, it was lighting up. Why would evolution do this? Why would a brain, starved of oxygen and seconds from total failure, throw everything it has into one last blaze? Nobody knows for certain, but there's a working theory. Some researchers believe this final surge may be the brain's last-ditch effort to make sense of an unprecedented event. Your neurons have spent your entire life predicting the world, filling gaps, constructing your sense of reality from fragments of sensory input. When the oxygen stops, the system doesn't just switch off. It may glitch into overdrive, firing wildly as if searching for an explanation it will never find. This might be where near-death experiences come from. You've probably heard the stories. Bright lights, tunnels, a feeling of peace, seeing deceased relatives. For decades, these accounts were dismissed as fantasy or explained away as oxygen-starved hallucination. But a physician named Sam Parnia has spent years trying to study them properly instead of dismissing them. His research, called the AWARE study, placed hidden images high on shelves in hospital rooms, visible only from near the ceiling, in wards where cardiac arrest patients were treated. The idea was simple. If people who claimed to float above their bodies during resuscitation were telling the truth, some of them should be able to describe those hidden images afterward. The results were messy, inconclusive, frustrating even. Most patients who survived cardiac arrest didn't recall anything at all. A small number reported vivid experiences. Almost none could describe the hidden images. But what Parnia's research did confirm is something equally unsettling. Brain activity, thought to cease entirely during cardiac arrest, sometimes continues in bursts for far longer than doctors assumed. Consciousness, or something resembling it, may linger in the wreckage of a dying brain longer than we ever believed possible. So what does this actually feel like, if it feels like anything at all? Some researchers think the sensation of a tunnel of light might come from the way your visual cortex fails. As oxygen drops, the outer edges of your visual field may go dark first, leaving a shrinking circle of brightness in the center. Your brain, always trying to construct a coherent story, might interpret that shrinking light as movement, as a tunnel, as something approaching, rather than something fading away. The sense of peace some survivors describe may have a chemical explanation too. Researcher Carl Janssen has pointed to a compound called ketamine, and the way it can produce dissociative, dreamlike, even euphoric states in the brain when normal chemical signaling breaks down. Under extreme stress, your brain may release its own version of this chemical flood, not to comfort you, but simply as a side effect of a system failing in a very specific way. The peace, if it is real, might not be a gift. It might be a glitch that happens to feel like one. None of this tells you what death is like from the inside, not really. Because to know that, someone would have to come back and confirm it, and every account we have comes from someone who didn't fully die. Their heart restarted. Their brain kept enough oxygen to survive. What